Hi, I'm Troy with Derby Dust. Just to get a little bit background on me, I have a minor in engineering. I teach math and science to middle school age children. I've been doing derby cars since I was 7, so we're talking 24 years. So I have a lot of experience with derby cars. I started doing derby cars and trying to help people make them and tune them, and got tired of using tuning boards or trying to convince the pack or somewhere to let us set up a track a week beforehand to even test it out. So instead of going in blind, I wanted a way to come up with some tuning. So I said, well, what can you do to run in one place for a long time? And well, humans use a treadmill, so I figured, well, you can attach a derby car to a treadmill. So I started messing around with it, and we figured out how to tune the car using the treadmill, because it's going down the track, and it happens that the treadmill gets pretty close to its top speed going down the track. So put it on there, put on the treadmill, started messing with the axles, using one of the tuning pliers so we could twist the axles so that it'll steer. If you need to bend one, we'd bend it using the Pro Rail Rider tool or the Pro Axle Press to help straighten them or bend them some more. But we got tired of trying to get to the track and tune it, and it's hard to see when it's going down the track in those 3 seconds or less what's actually happening to the car. Here, it's right in front of you, it's right on the track, on the treadmill. You can see what each wheel's doing. You can look at it one at a time. You can run it for 10, 15 minutes, however long it's taking you to do this. It might take up to an hour, but that's an hour.
Okay, some of the tools we're going to be using for tuning the car. We have our axle tuning pliers, tape to hold the car on the string while we're tuning it, Pro Axle Press, Pro Rail Rider tool, a hammer. We have a gap gauge for the perfect gap, Derby Dust, and a marker so that we can mark the axles and their position.
Okay, so we're going to use our Pinewood Derby car. You're going to pre-lube the wheels, spin it, work it in, and make sure you use your gap gauge, the perfect gap, to gap the wheels to make sure that it has the perfect gap. And you can check all of them all the way around and make sure that it's the right distance so that when you start tuning it, you will have the right spacing and the lube will be getting worked into the right spots. The next step you're going to do is you're going to take the marker and you're going to mark a line from the center of the hub up so that you can mark where 12 o'clock is as if it were a watch hand. And we're going to do that in all the wheels. This is going to be so that we can indicate and know how much we've turned our axle when we're going in adjusting the axle position. Okay, once you have those all marked, you're going to go ahead and attach your derby car to a string using a piece of blue painter's tape. You're going to tape it to the string and have it set up on your treadmill. At this point, we're ready to go ahead and start the treadmill. Start it slowly at first, and then you let it run to kind of gauge where it's going. And as you can see, ours is moving to the right. You can start seeing what it's going to do, and as you can see right here, ours is pulling to the right some. This car is a 3-wheel car, so the high wheel is the one that's furthest away from us. Now, we need to get it to steer this direction, but not so greatly. We want it to be just a little bit off center so that when it goes down the track, the wheel that's touching rides the rail. And to do that, we're going to go ahead and take the axle and start adjusting it. Now, when you do this at home, once you start adjusting it, you can turn this treadmill all the way up to full speed, and that's what we recommend. But before this video, the treadmill is way too loud for you to be able to hear me talk while it's on at full speed, so we have it turned down just as a demonstration purpose. So if we take this car, we look at it, we have the mark at 12 o'clock, we're going to take this plier and we're going to twist it about 1/8 of a turn. So you grab onto that head knife and you turn it about 1/8, and as you can see, the mark is off to the right a little bit. Now, once we do that, we'll see which way it pulls. It may pull more to the opposite, the side, which we don't want, or it may come closer to the center. Well, just that little bit made it go all the way to the other side. So we're going to turn it back towards the 12 o'clock position, but half the distance of that. So it'd be like a 1/16 of a turn. So I'm going to turn it just a tiny bit and see what we get from that. And I place it on, it's still pulling, so it's real sensitive on some of these. Once you get it close to the tuning point, you turn one way or the other, it'll make a change. Now, this is closer to the center, but we want it to pull more to this side. I'd like for the wheels to be right about here where my hand is. So I'm going to adjust it just a little bit more. So right now we got the car to about the best that we're going to get with just twisting the front axle to steer it. And it's almost on center, but like I said, this is the high wheel and we want it to steer this direction. So now we're going to move from this wheel to the back one and start tuning it. Now I made a slight adjustment, and it's starting to pull to the right a little bit, and I'm going to bring the speed up a little higher so we can see what it does at full speed. And so it pulls to the side that we want it to. And maybe we should just adjust the back wheel just a little bit to bring it a little closer to center so it's not a really, really abrupt pulling. So here we go. I'm going to grab this off here. Be careful not to touch the belt. And I'm going to readjust just a slight turn. Now that slight turn got it right about center, and it's maybe at the point where we need to turn it a little bit more back. And as you can see, it's kind of waving back and forth, and we don't want that wave because that's going to cost us time. Well, let's turn this down a little bit. We'll grab this off. If you mess around and tune it, you can actually take the wheel that's high off and run it so you can see how it'll run. And it runs just fine without, the fourth wheel. So as you can see, it kind of pulls back and forth, and that's due to the string pulling it back because it's trying to go one way and the string wants it to stay another way. But it's pretty smooth, it's not erratic, so that's about how you want it to run for a three-wheel in the local area, and they've used it to tune their cars and they've been very successful. We've had some wins with that, and we're hoping that you'll take a look at it, try it out for yourself, and I believe it'll help you guys win some derbies. Thank you.